Nexa. He pushed onto the A ramp early. Remember, Quesarado, he never actually got a kill by moving outwards, but yeah, okay. They had the heads-up play. They
really tough pill to swallow, looking for a connector explode to respond to Fury's of obvious mid-aggression every single round.
And they won't stop until you make them. Here comes the pistol peek. So far, so good. Yuri with the 3K. Quesarado's going to get denied as Nexa has a set of helping hands. Kenny S. capable with the dig and UMP in the mix. Kenny, you saw how fired up he was after the result of last round. Well, he has done everything here for G2, and this is kind of within the realm of possibility. Unfortunately for G2, no Kevlar. And no open door to this B site. The smoke is what meets them. Kenny S has to put ego aside. He did a great job with the Desert Eagle this round, but there's nothing further for G2 to find. We are looking at an 11-9 scoreline.
There's a point of time where there's a lot of success for FURIA, and Quesarado was the poster boy for the team alongside Art, but it was really Yuri who was bringing their map together and supporting them through some of their biggest victories. And I think that is especially apparent when they would lose a player and Yuri would be able to refrag on 2 or 3 players. I think notably on like Short Shelf on Vertigo. But I mean, his skills as a rifler transcends the maps. He does so well versus other riflers, and in this circumstance, it's just an anti-eco. But he's the guy that once he needs to lock in and get the kills to bring a round back into favor, even with low HP, he's focused, eyes on the goal, and that's just to get the kills. So very consistent, and yeah, very underspoken about rifler on this roster.
Back in full-fledged buys. 1 op per side. Let's hope Kenny S can take some of that Deagle skill, transform it into an op frag. Yet again, the consistency in mid-control from FURIA. More often than not, they're playing for catwalk, and well, this round, down to the base of connector. Art, he is always going to be that point of contact.
This is where Nico can just let his mind work. They're up close beside him. They flash through, but they don't go through to the stairs. Yuri jumps in behind. Oh, that's a trade.
Yep. Now there's still players back by ticket. Multiple. 2. And if these other guys try and crawl through, Art's going to meet them. He lines them up. 2 frags back for Art. Now they've got G2 completely corralled. Nexa needs to fight his way out alongside Kenny S, but here comes Art from the back, denied. Bomb still at the feet of G2, but this pressure from utility, it forces them back.
They should know that there's 2 players in CT spawn because the op was spotted. Nexa was the one to get the kills. So they'll put the bomb down, get to safety, and this will be a much more difficult retake, given that they've rotated all the way around.
1 smoke, 1
Kenny
flash.
could go for this wall bang. I don't know if he would.
Oh, he might. He keeps eyeing it up.
But Nexa's really taking his time here.
Yeah, Nexa might not be able to help too much. He has 26 HP. Smoke goes outwards, blocks off Palace. It's underneath and Sandwich, they have to clear. Kenny S, crucial kill. Yuri, he's got that first one, but now Kenny's honing in on him. He's tucked as can be, and he delivers with a 10th round for FURIA.
You know, Yuri knew just how to play that. Potentially, Kenny could have locked that down with this scope, but with the way that Yuri was willing to tuck for so long, he made that as difficult as possible to creep up on him. Saw Kenny winning that kind of in my mind's eye, but yeah, this play from Mark means the world to FURIA in a position where it does come down to a 1v1. Cannot forget the frags in the middle of the round. 10-11, and it's another pistol for G2. Oh, these guys, that's why they're so fierce. They're playing against each other even when they're by themselves.
Yeah.
They're always ready for competition.
Face to face. Side by side. As they were for their run in North America. One of the teams that actually stuck together in their team environment.
I love that. You know, when the Able J roster change happened, I got very concerned that FURIA,
We're going to lose their
we're going to
identity.
start replay cycling through the fifths, you know, and Henny coming in, but they really did do it for the right reasons, found stability, and made the most of their newest changes.
Yep.
Such an impressive roster. And, you know, Gear was such a big part of all of it. And I did a video on art recently, and I had someone in the comments saying there's so much information out there in Portuguese about how Gary was a mastermind alongside Art in this whole creation of the team and how they have come up with their strategies and stuff. And he's not here to lead them, to be with them. But Art, of course, a very important 50% of the puzzle, is here to frag on top of kind of be that mastermind.
Ooh. Hunter shaving away 2 frags. The M4A1S delivers. And who's up next? That's the only gun for G2. This would be the second round they had no business winning based on buys. Kenny S resides behind the arch. He's got 2 other teammates behind him. This is excellent for G2. But Kenny S goes down empty-handed. Amanek able to answer with the 5-7, and Hunter looking for more fresh blood. He topples Yuri, who answers back now. Henny, a pistol shot would connect and kill out Hunter. Frag grenade could get the job done. Oh, it's perfect. Now Henny, he hears that first footstep, 2 seconds left. This is it. He just needs to survive. Oh, it's going to be costly if he goes down.
Oh, smart not to play that at all. Look for the peak, and he saves the one-on-one situation. It's a tight call. Listen, this is the round now. G2 we're going to save and buy on this round. I like the buy. I like the M4A1S buys because they're just more cost efficient. They may be, I think the value of the rifle should be thought about from the perspective of like, am I on even footing for at least the first kill? Because if I can do that, then maybe we can guarantee the rounds. And for the longevity of the economy, we can buy more often. And of course, if more people are on board with the M4A1S religion, what a grenade that was.
Yes, sir.
Then dropping the M4A1S is also not so much a concern.
Right, yeah. Nothing feels worse than when you're a total A1S noob.
Right.
You ask for a buy.
Yeah.
It drops at your feet.
You see the Icarus fell on the floor. Like, nice skin. I don't know how to use that gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I have anything else, please?
Right.
But listen, it works. G2, that's their second robbery of a round. And that, at this point, is literally what makes the difference in the score. Not to mention last half, the moment they did that, Launders, they won every round thereafter.
Right.
We'll see if they can do that again and shut down FURIA on Mirage.
Well, interesting to see what game plan is here. Very active mid-control from the CE side. We know that boost is no gimmick. We'll see that, you know, potentially many times, and it'll be just as strong every single one. So that's it. That info, that'll push Almanek back, and Hunter will have to pick it up.
Yep, he's delivering with this silent cold.
That is awkward for FURIA.
They leave.
They did not want to forfeit that rush. They threw a lot of their utility here. They're down to a single smoke, 1 Molotov, a flash, and HE, and they also have to scour back for map control with a man disadvantage. Not in the game plan.
Well, now they're playing off the book. And these guys have street smarts. They got the grit. They got the determination. Ooh, Nico just crouches back down behind those shots. Obviously, FURIA in with the mid control. Yuri tucked in the corner, trying to challenge. Nico doesn't give him even an inch. Perfect position from Nico to take back another player. Hunter, he has been fantastic in these last 2 rounds. Now towards Catwalk, he does take a bit of chip damage, but Amanek can lend a helping hand. A perfect 3K with the AUG. Headshot after headshot after headshot.
Yeah, amazing from him. And we know he's never using the regular guns.
Yeah, a bit of a freak.
He likes to, he's got more, I think, almost as many MAC 10 kills as M4 kills, some ridiculous stat like that. Likes the UMP, likes the AUG. Yeah, he's not a bandwagoner. Now, gotta say, Nico, at every key point of these CT rounds, is finding ways to sneak a kill in here or there. Over in connector, to kill a player on cat, inside the window. Been very smart and very on point about capitalizing on first peaks. Full group up towards B. FURIA going to give up probably 14 in this position. And Almanek front facing, scoped up, glasses on, looking for the rush.
We saw the M4 do wonders for G2. A lot of responsibility here on the shoulders of Art. He He's going to be the front runner, and he tags up Amanek ever so slightly. Flashes come in, as does the Molly. Now, there is still more than a minute on the clock. G2, if we look elsewhere, not too adventurous, although Nico is challenging towards the top of mid. If Kenny S decides to take underpass responsibility away from him, then this really does unleash G2 to go on a massive flank. But again, they know exactly what's coming. It's about stopping it in its tracks. Amanek, a second frag, a third frag, and looking for more as FURIA, they kick in the door but can't quite get in the building. Not yet. Kenny S, further damage output. Vinny, he takes the boost in the meantime. Yuri swinging wide after the bomb goes down, but this is too little to work with. G2 will find their 14th, despite the best efforts of FURIA. They'll take a plant, and that's all.
Yeah, the cohesion is great from G2 on both sites right now. Players are communicating. We got the Kovac sandwich, okay, the cat connector sandwich.
I'll take one of those.
It sounds tasty until you're FURIA, but they come through in B. They do a good job of finding out where Hunter's going to be behind the cap pillar. They avoid Amanek's attention, which is important. They get some damage, make him fall back to empty. They kind of know the prototols are coming, but still, both players are doing a good job of knowing when to have their grenades out, knowing when to peek, and yet Art is able to kill Hunter and put some pressure on Amanek. So the bomb plan is nice. If we look at the buy right now, they wouldn't have been able to put together much without it. Yuri, for example, would have not had full grenades, if any. And that's kind of what they were most looking for. They did just get a bomb plant, right? Yeah, okay. Double op setup. Kind of the perfect adjustment at the moment.
Halt.
Okay.
Abort.
You tech pause. Probably FPS bug.
Happens.
I would imagine.
Shouldn't.
Yeah.
Happens.
It does. So
Man, I wanted to bring up some stats here. And it's always a bit of a shame when you have to put a microscope over top of an underperforming player. But everybody's delivering other than Vinny. He's 7 and 19. And then if you take it further stats, okay? Enemies flashed, 3. As low as Nico. You know, you've got guys at 27, 22. The vast majority of everybody else is putting out some output. And even utility damage, Vinny, 0.
Right.
Like, where is he finding his impact?
Yeah. Having trouble finding impact. I will say, though, if we're to compare, I'd say Amanek has had some fantastic rounds and deserves to be at the top of the scoreboard. Sure. But I think very obviously Nico has gotten the most critical frags of the match. In connector, playing from connector, holding down on the CT side. But still, let's take a look at how Amanek got here. 22 frags, and it was honestly pure highlights. Now that was a very
risky
smooth move. Yeah, risky move into underpass in a position where Art was the only op. And
he actually, you know, he's been finding players with heads turned. He's been throwing himself into the middle of like the high pressure spot. Look at this. He's got a
1v1 to his name here.
Right? This whole package is essentially him either checking underpass, playing off of the top of the mid fence, or being this rock at the B bomb site.
Right.
So just no matter where they try to run, no matter where they try to hide, Amanek is hunting them down. And it's for that reason he is at the top of the scoreboard. Now equipped with an op as we come back from the tech pause. Thank you everybody for your patience.
Yeah. Very two-way player.
Fast play.
Kenny.
Fast play. Art, he's already out. He is out and trying to chase down Amanek, but he falls empty-handed. The double sniper setup paying off. 5v3 at the minute 30 mark.
Damn, that is scary. That is really scary. And they have a they have an affinity for the B site. I mean, we do see lately most teams are leaning towards B. It's crazy to see that. It used to be boring to be a B player. Now it's like you're Matt Damon and you're just I don't know, you just get so much action these days. Not every day you see a CT side top frag from the B site. But absolutely no trades. They're risking a ton on that opening kill. They believe they can get it. But Amanek doesn't really care what you believe. He's really in a lane of his own at the moment.
Which doesn't bode well for FURIA. They're about to forfeit a 15th round to G2. Again, once that M4 round comes through, that solo M4 on Hunter, it's just been G2 across the scoreboard, as it was on the first half. FURIA unable to kind of reset when that momentum's taken away from them, but they have found one kill of an opening, and now they've isolated a 2 versus 2 technically on this A site. It's about focusing over on Ticket. They're wary of the other side of the bomb site, but it's over here that they need to get their teeth sunk deep. Molly over on
Oh my
the
god.
ticket. This is now a post plant.
Yeah, no one's on cat to even spot this.
Okay.
Vinny, what's his move? Is he going to walk into this off? I think there's another player
Wrong shot.
spawn though.
Yep, and that's where it is. Nexa swinging wide, pushing it onto Henny. And he's performed well, but he is so outnumbered, so outgunned. G2 about to have a bit of fun as they run rampant on the retake. No further frags here for Furia. A 15th round secured.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge wake up. And so far, I mean, just incredible for G2 to have such good rounds on both halves and just look so comfortable, especially on that T side, where you know the pushes can come from every which direction. And now just one more to close this out. They can do pretty much anything. It's not... The B setup's not changing all that much, right? Almanac back at the site, jump spotting, Hunter sitting at get right, waiting for them to come out. The early cap pressure is something that maybe Furia want to try to do again if they really, really want to get over to B. We've got 5 players trying to bust out mid with somewhat weak grenades, or weak guns and low grenades.
We'll see how far they can actually run this. Kenny S lets the first one cross, and a delay between the first and second runner from Furia means Kenny goes hunting for his frag. And now his vision's completely blocked off, so they're aware that somebody's within the works. But where exactly has he got, and where exactly will he go? G2 looking for answers, seeking and searching them out by throwing a player deep B apps.
At this point, they know that it is a full passive setup from the CT side. The grates are not busted open for Furia's perspective. So Art, with this information,
Caught in the cookie jar.
has to now take a piece of map control and continue onto his site. And
Right.
there you go.
They find that flank telling them that somebody from G2's moved off the B site, which means Amanek should be alone. But even alone, Amanek puts up the show. A second kill with the op finally dies. But at what point, as G2 are ready to arrive on a map 1 win, their choice versus Furia? Welcome to Europe, they say, as things have not gone well for the Brazilians thus far, but there's still a damn chance. Hunter doubling back through the B apps. He's got Yuri isolated in a 1v1, but as he takes his time to peek, Yuri starts to feel flustered. Henny's trying to find contact anywhere, and G2 have fallen silent because they want Kenny to catch the kill. He does, and now Yuri is gonna have to do it all. He uses the Galil to best Hunter, peeks into Nexa and dies. G2 Esports survive on Mirage. Wow, the types of rounds they won to do this, absolutely huge. 6-round lead to close, denying Furia a map 1 win, but a series that's not nearly over. Ladies and gentlemen, there is more Counter-Strike to come. Up next, we move to Nuke. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for yet another episode of the CS Money Skin Survivor. We have Furia's finest, Vinny. How are you doing, my man?
Pretty good, buddy. How's it going?
I'm excited to watch you guys play some great CS, but before the games get going, we're gonna have a game of our own, my man. 16 skins, boiling it down to only 1 left over. That 1 winner, of course, finding a fresh new home thanks to you.
Okay, let's get it.
Rapid fire round.
Bloodshot. Dragon Fighter. Ghost Crusader. Death Head. Blood in the Water. Big Arrow. Fever Dream. Handbrake.
We're already halfway through our skin stash. Time to get this second round going, if you are ready, Vinny.
Now I'm ready.
Dragonfire or the Bloodshot?
Dragon Fighter. The colors are way better.
Ghost Crusader or the Death's Head?
Ghost Crusader. I would say because I like white skins, so.
Blood in the Water or the Big Iron?
Blood in the Water. I would say the same thing, colors.
Handbrake or your own scout
Yeah.
skin, the Fever Dream?
Fever Dream, that's mine.
Now we have the semifinals. There's only 4 skins left, and if you're ready, we'll get this round underway. Dragonfire or Ghost Crusader?
Dragon Fire. Our fake Dragon Lord is going.
Blood in the Water or Fever Dream?
but in the water.
Sharks are going through, and now we have the finalists. On one side, the Dragonfire, recently added in the glove case, or the Blood in the Water, one of the first scout skins, dude, from 2013. Which of these two weapons is the skin survivor?
Should we go to the classics or the new thing? I gonna give the Dragonfire the winner because I think it's prettier.
Boom! The Dragonfire gets the edge. Out with the old, in with the new. Everything comes tumbling down, and the only skin left standing is the Dragonfire. But, Vinny, we're not done here just yet. We need to find an owner for said skin. So I ask you, between 1 and 4, please choose a number.
2. Gonna go to 4.
We have Dovla 98.
Yeah, the lucky winner.
You've gone ahead and won yourself a Dragonfire, all thanks to Vinny. Best of luck with your games, brother, and thanks for your time.
See you guys.
The new G2 show up in large on Mirage, and they get it done. Very strong performance against the FURIA that didn't quite hit the mark this time around, but is it too early to say honeymoon period, Maniac?
Don't make me say it. Don't make me say it, okay? I'm trying to remain calm. I'm trying to remain objective here. Let's take it as it is. One map, but a very, very promising map for G2. Extremely good. Rock solid on the defense. Nothing to say. As soon as they have sort of withstood the attack from Art, they stabilized the situation. We have to give props to the B defense, especially Amanek at the top of the scoreboard. 25 kills, more than 100 ADR. He was doing work with the rifle, the AUG. He was doing work with the AWP. His positioning was on point. His repositioning was on point. He was pretty much feeling the game. Hunter 2, I think, was instrumental. Overall, a pretty good map for G2.
Definitely, it was a fantastic map from G2, a fantastic team performance as well.
Yeah.
Glad you pointed out Amanek as well. He had 8 multi-kill rounds as well. He was being a baller, right? We saw it in the beginning of the game, going through a smoke to kill Art in Underground, you know. That was sort of like giving him a taste of his own medicine as well. So
yes.
already setting the presence from the start of the game. I think we get to see it right here as well, you know, flashing himself through the smoke, going down and killing Art, and that's just, you know what? I know what you can do, Arth, but I can do it as well. And he kind of like set the tone for the rest of the game. Both teams came out to play, and I don't think FURIA were a bad team in this game. I don't think they necessarily did poorly. They just faced a better team. Nico showing impact, Hunter with the M4A1S, especially on the CT side as well. There's so many bright moments in this game, and overall, a Counter-Strike game at a very, very high level.
And this moment right here, right, this was the lockdown of Amanek on the B side, because FURIA were attacking it relentlessly, but they could not get in.
You're absolutely right. That was the game plan, or it looked like the game plan for Art to really pressure that B-bomb site again and again and again. Always challenge, trying to go through the first smoke, trying to go for the first peak. And if they get that first peak, you can just see the steamroll going on. But Amanek was, again, rock solid. The first line of defense for G2 was so strong that FURIA never got the ball rolling.
I just have to point out that Art was involved in 17 opening duels in this game.
What? That's ridiculous.
17
That's ridiculous.
opening duels. He won 10 of those, but he was involved
That's insane.
in 17. I think that must be a record in such a short game. Absolute insanity. Constantly on the move, constantly involving himself.
Well, he's definitely sticking to his name, isn't he? Art is the game when it comes to trying to make it work and do it in that style. And you got to say, for FURIA, right, okay, it's only one game that we've looked at, only one game on scale, but this is against the new G2. They couldn't find the way and they couldn't break past it. And you got to say, how has these practice games been going? Because you at least had some information coming out from the G2 side on that, and for them, it was looking pretty good.
Yeah, the practices have been looking good for G2. As you know, Nico's interview taught us, they've been only playing together for 3 days.
Yeah.
So at this point, you kind of have to just go with your gut feeling, right? And it seems to be good. Obviously, the map pool is going to be limited, and we're going to have, an answer in that series to see if they can actually resist a BO3 versus FURIA. It's not going to be easy, considering that I believe Nuke and Vertigo are going to be on the cards for the next maps. Not going to be so easy, but definitely on Mirage. If this is what G2 is going to look like, that's interesting.
Well, we've got some of these magical moments where we're showing you how the economy can be affected. So let's take a look at another eco play.
And this time around, it's actually going to be Hunter that's under the spotlight. And an eco round coming out of G2. And if you look at the money situation for G2, that's the only weapon right here. So what Hunter is doing is trying to make an impact with that weapon. First kill found onto Vinny, a second one as well. And here, that is already a massive, massive, massive impact. It's going to be a 5 versus 3. And even though FURIA is going to try to fight back into that one, it's not going to be enough. Henny will do the best he can in that 3v1. But again, to me, Jacob, a turning point. G2 took complete control of the game after that. And this is also for the viewers at home to realize that when you have that single M4, which was Hunter's case here, you have to try and make something out of it. Don't just stay passive. Take an off angle. Trying to go for the difference. Yeah. And that's what he made.
Just to add an extra layer to that, right? The fact that all the teams stayed back. They waited for Hunter to be the first encounter. They waited for him to have the first action. Normally you see in your normal face-it games and your matchmaking games that you have one weapon on your team and all the guys around you, they'll die before you can even get to do the work with it. But I'm sure Hunter communicated to his team that, hey guys, you got to stay back, you got to play defensive, let me do the work, and he did. He delivered. Another great showcase of the individual skill on this team as well. If it's not Hunter, then it's Nico. If not Nico, then Amanek. There was so much good Counter-Strike in this game.
And some people might just say, right, with G2 that, oh, it's Mirage, right? It's an easy map for it to work with. But there was a lot of synergy there between Nico and Amanek.
Yeah, and overall, I feel like the balance was good between the players. But I was listening on the comms, and I feel like they were quite healthy in the approach. Everyone had the space they needed. Nexa was definitely not challenged, in his way of being in control of the game. People were chiming in with ideas. Obviously, the coach, I think Malik's doing a really good job at calming them down, focusing them when maybe the communication got a bit heated up, right? He was always there to calm them down and kind of refocus them on what matters. So that was a good example. Again, remember, when you're winning, it's very easy to have a good communication, very well organized. I'm going to keep my eye on it and keep my ear on it if they're facing tough times on Nuke and see how it changes. But on Mirage, that looked like a very healthy G2 to me.
Well, let's have a listen to some of those comms. We're going to have the winning moment to see how they were feeling after it all went down.
I'm going to level, yeah? I'm level.
Is site dead?
Good job. I play kitchen now. I'm going as well. Pushing
BFs.
Okay, let's go.
You can move him.
Next time you have a
Nice!
Nice, boys.
Good job, boys. Good job.
Clean.
I go bathroom, I'll be right back.
Yeah, see you in
Nice.
1 pound fish. Good job. Yeah, nice. Very nice.
Very nice indeed from the G2 lineup, but going on to Nuke.
Yeah.
That's where things get a lot more dicey, because for me, Pimp, when you come to Nuke, putting a new player in requires a little bit more than just 3 days.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a much tougher game for them. I think G2, they picked Mirage. It was their own map pick, and they won it in style. So, positive signs. But coming into Nuke is going to be a complete different ballpark. I think FURIA, they're ready for this one. They have good synergy on the map of Nuke as well. As was talked about in the lead up to this game, potentially one of the best Nuke teams in the world. At least they had a period where they were, where they were the guys taking away the crown from Astralis. So they play Nuke to a very, very high level. One thing that scares me a lot, I just touched a little bit upon it, but Art involved in 17 opening duels. The rest of the team only combined for 1 opening kill in that entire game.
Wow.
4 players combining for 1 opening kill. That has to change on Nuke.
Yeah.
They have to get involved. Quesarado, Yuri, the other players, Henny, even though he's a more like a defensive AWP player these days, on a map like Nuke, you gotta show a presence. You gotta have a presence with the AWP. So it can't be only Art. He was doing a good job, but 17 opening duels, that's way too much for one player.
Now, how would you approach this, though, right? When you go into a map like Nuke, knowing that you may not be as set up with your protocols as you would like to be?
You're talking for G2, right?
Yeah.
Listen, to me, I'm already trying to realize where is Nico going to play, because I'm thinking about FaZe, and when he was playing outside yard, he had a lot of responsibility, also a lot of freedom in his position. Is he going to take that role in G2? That's going to be a very complicated one. That's a role that requires a lot of rotations, protocols, knowing how your teammates are going to react, who is moving to what position, at what timing. Or do you take the easy way, you just put him inside, you say, listen, be a turret for now. Maybe on midterm, long term, we're going to have a different game plan, but for now, just go kill inside. That might be just the way they approach the situation. I'm not going to be sure. The guys listening to the analyst at the desk, they must be so fed up to hear that. But Nuke is about protocols, about rotations, about knowing where to be, communication as well, knowing where to be and how to be there. Do I think G2 already are at that point on the CT side? Probably not. So if I'm FURIA, I'm trying to push them out of the comfort zone. I'm trying to grab some entry kills and just wait out for mistakes.
And who better to push teams out of the comfort zone than Art on a map like Nuke? You try to guess him, you try to think what's coming next, and you still have no idea.
He had a great success rate, right? Winning 10 out of those 17 opening duels. So he's going to try again. He's feeling confident. if that's enough for FURIA, to open up the CT side of G2, I may have a bit of a problem with that. You look at the skill set, you look at all the individual players you have on G2. On a CT side like Nuke, sure, you need communication, you need protocols, you need all that kind of stuff to go up in a higher end, you need that synergy. But when you have individual players who are always good for 2 kills, then it doesn't matter whether or not you're in the right position. If Nico is going to be a bit out of position, but still gets a kill, or 2 for that matter, same goes on for MNX, same goes on for Hunter, then you don't really need it, right? So if they can keep up with the individual level we saw here in Mirage, maybe they can get away with not being as synergized as they probably should be on a map like Nuke. One thing I do want to look out for, as Maniac was alluding to as well, try just imagine if Nico is the player playing in Mini, or Yard for that matter, having the combo of Kenny S and Nico to shut down Yard, that's going to be a problem for FURIA, so they'll probably have to look elsewhere.
Well, let's see if they will have to look elsewhere. Let's see how it's going to go down on Nuke. The new G2 has looked good on the opening map, but now they're going into FURIA's territory, and it is certainly not easy to overtake them. It's coming right up after this break, so make sure you're back with us.
Welcome back, my friends. As we get one step closer to beginning on Nuke, we have to ask ourselves whether FURIA, transitioning into their map pick, will be able to bounce back after what was a very hot first showing from this fresh-faced G2.
I think it was a beautiful win from G2, and I didn't look at it as G2's map pick, more so a map that either of them would pick, and I think that makes the win more impressive.
Okay.
And when we were analyzing it, or breaking down from that perspective, map that they're confident on, that we should have seen more from FURIA's T side and didn't, and how good G2 looked. All those things, coalesced to make a great performance for G2, an outstanding first match for Nico on the team, and as well as shone a spotlight on Almanac, who really had to go above and beyond to hold it down on the B site. But now we turn our attention over towards Nuke, a map that in this series, I wasn't sure where the veto would land. I actually didn't predict Mirage personally, but I spent a lot of time this morning preparing for Nuke, specifically watching demos of Nico and watching demos of Art. Now, in terms of the opening kills that we saw, that was mentioned on the desk by Pimp, 17 opening attempts from Art. Art won 10 of them. The reason is because he is first out on all of their T-round strats. He's their lurker on T side. He will send plays that look like full hits to downstairs or upstairs and be somewhere else, and it's all just to cause a distraction for him to get a kill and for everyone else to reroute around that. So let's pay attention to what Art does. It's a lot of stuff out squeaky. It's a lot of lurks where he'll peel off from the pack outside. And from G2, I want to know what the CT spot setup is going to be. Is Nico going to be playing in Mini, or is it Hunter?
Answers to be found soon enough. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle in. Either FURIA running it all the way back, or G2 starting this group with a message. Serato able to get down the vent. He's not the only one. In fact, there's 3 players down there. And G2, what's their response? Nexo's been able to get down from ramp to set his eyes into sight, but the Molotov awkwardly pushes him back ever so slightly here. Bomb's delayed in being planted, but now it will go down. 10 players up. And that smoke grenade that FURIA were holding on to, look what it has on the other side.
My God.
Oh, it is a full deck of cards for G2. And oh my God, there's 3 Ts up close as well. This is going to be a fist fight for control of the B site.
Much damage output without getting traded, and then Vinny was kind of strung out, running out of hut by himself. Tried to trade, I think, top hut, but got a bit confused. An awkward situation. FURIA need to shake that off. You know, these are moments where maybe Gary is the one to stand behind them as a father figure for the team to really kind of make sure that they don't lose themselves in those moments. But of course, still plenty of leadership and time left in this match to make up for that round.
Frag grenade, good. Blows Art into tomorrow. Amanek backside comfortably at this point. He's got teammates all around. They don't have eyes outside, and Yuri is sure enough over here, but he's caught out by Kenny S and Nico. And we got our answer, Launders. Looks like Nico's going to be playing Mini.
Yeah, he's inside of Mini, taking control of things. He is such an aware outside player, so I mean, I could totally understand it. And some more context for him coming in, because I think there is obviously the jump to try to say that, Nico, if he's going to take all these spots, it's because he came in, bouldering in, and was like, these are my spots. But as Maniac actually brought up to us in the green room, Hunter is the bigger cousin, right? He's the guy who in real life would be the one to invite Nico to go do things or like whatever. He's kind of like a bigger voice potentially in person, even though Nico is a bigger star than he is in the server. And these days, in terms of respect, you have to respect Hunter. You're really splitting hairs when you're talking about who's better.
Yeah, you are.
And now this round does get a little bit strange. Vinny gets down the vent and actually could score a bomb plant here.
Hell yeah.
Any impact grenades to stop him. Doesn't look like it.
Well, it's going to come a little late. Won't stop him. Will soften him. He drops to a quarter HP. K. Serrato could find kills. Nico with his back turned will be one.
That's a save. So just wanted to say, we can't be too quick to judge how he got the positions that he's getting. And in terms of overall rifling, we're talking about Nico. He should be on everyone's top 5 riflers of all time, just period. And if he's on your top 1 or top 3, it's debatably accurate, even at that point, So that's really how good he is, despite how good Hunter is. So if Hunter wants to give up Mini to Nico, I'm sure it was a two-way conversation. It was probably Hunter, if anything, offering it up. And you better believe that Nico is going to be able to deliver in that spot.
And again, this could very well be the first form of G2. What is most comfortable for him in this amount of time? Will he be able to change spots? Will he be able to be repositioned? Absolutely. Will he need to be repositioned? Only time can tell. And well, this first test for Kenny S passed with flying colors. Yuri the only weapon up here for FURIA as G2 about to take their 3rd CT round in a row. We talked about the force round wins on Mirage, shifting momentum of the halves entirely into the back pocket of G2. It happened on the T side, happened on the CT side, and it happened again early here on Nuke. Second AK picked up now. FURIA will have a secondary weapon to try and work with. If Art can kind of puff his chest big enough, then maybe this does draw the rotates down. You can see them shifting feet. Nexa has to focus on this ramp because Art could come in at a moment's notice, and he's trying to pinch with the lobby players.
That ramp flash.
Nicely done.
But the player is behind him. Nexa in a catch-all position.
Awesome.
That was smart spot by him.
Then a third player comes in Amanek. The other 2 members of FURIA don't commit. They double back into the lying weights of Hunter. 2 kills for him as he pushes forward. Them trying to shift attention. It is 3 in a row for G2. And FURIA, what's next?
You see, Nexus is playing in a position you just don't often play on the ramp, right? And that's obviously because he's very aware of the fact that Art could come up. And yeah, it's one that he can focus forward on the ramp and anybody coming out, as well as incidentally catch a lurker if it does come to it. But it's not a spot you often play because, of course, not easy to fall down from. But he had the support from Kenya. So good protocols here from G2 already kick things off. Get another test for them on this T-sided round. Art on just the P250. Nico wins his first duel outside, starting out with a lot of aggression, paired with Kenny S.
Yeah. And Hunter. He's also behind the red box. And then Art, he comes out from the smoke on the A site, but the bomb carrier, he's going to walk right into Hunter. Patience pays off. They killed Nico, they watched Kenny leave, and still it is nothing for FURIA.
When Nico played on FaZe, in their last series, watch this whole match back again. In their whole series, Nico played outside alone every single round. He did this later in the half. He pushed through after he got comfortable, waiting for pushes. Never was there another support rifler like Hunter and an Opper alongside him to go for the aggression, and they go all out on this establishing round. Surely this catches FURIA off guard, who a lot of their game plan does come down to taking yard control early on.
Now they're going to have the Deagles to try and rock with. Arts burns. An additional molly thrown down to the dirt. Vinny next up dies to the smoke spam. That's the bomb carrier dropped. The explosive device now downstairs. Kenny will catch K. Serrato on the cross. Hasn't quite killed him, but knows what's up. And understands what's going down.
Turtle shell mode here for G2. They'll rock up in quarantine within the upper site. And it'll be on Furia to try to manufacture a way to get this bomb back. That'll be the one thing they want. And the safety, I should say. Here's a push through into decon. Smoke goes down. Henny trying to combine into the ramp. Nexa in a key position here to try to stop them. Bomb does get planted, but a ramp player dead, and the second straggler will maybe die as well.
Oh, hang on. 2 versus 3, damage done. Quesarado would have to ace, which is a huge ask, but he comes in from a different angle. Oh, they almost give him something. Amanek denies any further success here for Furia, but hell, I feel like, you know, when they slowed down that round in a 3v5 moment, I didn't even think the bomb plant would be possible. The fact they got that back with 2 kills and a chance at even more, you take what you can get. We're 6 rounds deep and they trail by 4, but it's something.
Yeah. No, that's true. What's actually kind of interesting about that is it feels like a couple of times now, they know someone's got lower, but they haven't scrambled to rotate to catch them. It feels like part of their game plan is to kind of give up a few yards in order to get the ball back, right? They're like allowing the bomb to go down, but they're making sure that there's never going to be a split through ramp, and their 2 ramp guys are communicating.
Yeah.
So no one goes downstairs to look for Art and get random in a 1v1 duel, which that's where Art's playground is. Instead, they hold back. They say, hey, you can put the bomb down, but none of your friends are going to be alive when you do.
Yeah, what's that? Your favorite Art quote?
God, there's just so many. What was the...
Dragging through the mud.
Yeah, that we want to drag our opponents through the mud with us. With us.
When you said, you know, Art down on his playground, that to me is exactly what comes to mind, because that's what he's looking for. He's looking for you to fall for the trap. The 1 versus 1 that you think you have a chance in is where he's going to flex it, but you know, doing a really good job of just denying it. Let the kid roll in the dirt on his own and just kind of laugh at him. So far unsuccessful for Furia. Now they're going to get desperate trying to entry on the A site. It's adamant. And they do get through, but so do G2, wrapping around to the other side of lobby. And they've still got Nico outdoors. How does he redirect? He could opt to go through Mini, instead taking to the heavens. Yuri, that's a great little bit of wallbang on the corner to catch Kenny S. Man advantage up for G2, but it's looking like Furia, despite it being a rough ride, headbutt their way into the A bomb site, and they have hung on so far. Nico could still make the costs stack up, and there's cash racked up for G2 already, so why not take the risk? He's going to peek wide, and he could catch 2 by surprise. He will. So cost effective. Sure enough, Furia find a second round, but the bank accounts are bottomed out, and this one comes with a cost.
They cannot shoulder that damage at this point. Looking at losing so much economy off of this round after a win, and such a strong couple of entries to kick things off. They even did a good job of shutting down the op on the post plan that could have ended up saving. A little bit of frustration here from Kenny S, but the kills do make up a lot here from Nico. Exit frags as they were. Now Furia, that could be a sign of fear and a sign of we need to try something to get on the board for them to do an upper hit like that.
Sure.
Sometimes teams will just go back into it right away.
May work.
But it could be a good opportunity to bait out a ton of utility if the other team is afraid of it.
Hunter takes that mini roll from Nico. Now that trajectory tells Kenny all he needs to know. Oh, I like that.
He knew that was coming. Yeah.
Yep. He tried to burn himself a bit to catch the cross back, but it didn't quite connect. Not like Hunter, who through the smoke takes the head of Art. Now Nico, he's going to hear these players running downwards. He's deep garage. But then they stop. And at which point he has to contemplate, have they continued or do they intend to double back? And as long as he relaxes, he's going to find them with their backs turned. 2 headshots for Nico. Gunning for the third, Vinny answers. But this is a 2 versus 5. And Hunter, well, he is dishing it out. Sure, Quesarado will answer, but he's found himself in the 1v4, and he's about to peek the double CT setup, which does not work out. G2 Esports right back on the board.
That's just beautiful, man. I mean, Nico in his spot. What sucks about it for the lower hit, they're just not afraid of the lower hit right now, which is so much confidence. And look, G2, I mean, and Nico, he doesn't move. He sits here, waits for them to come into his arms. And you see Quesarado standing back there.
Yeah.
What they're doing, it's a fully intentioned tactic where they're running downstairs to try to pull people into rotating, and then they come back out, and they're trying to have Quesarado catch a mini player who might be flanking lower, get people to panic. That's Furia's game plan. G2 are not buying in.
Play close hut. Hunter going for the spam damage. Amanek, couple backs turned yet again, but he's so blind that Vinny is actually able to catch himself an opening here. Now they've got a Galil and the AUG, but they're both beneath the feet of the CTs. T-side smoke pops in heaven, and that sections a couple players off. It buys a bit of breathing room, or so it should. Nexa drops downwards, trying to catch them by Survive. Yuri survives on 6 HP, and that could make a world of difference. A post plant that's not supposed to have even unfolded. Kenny S met by smoke. Now the pressure's onto Nico. And this heaven smoke, we've seen it being used far more often as of late. Gives you a real chance to start peeking into this site without being exposed to a guy like Yuri. And he is focused on this spot. So much so that he will deny it. And FURIA Esports, they've robbed one, Launders, as was done to them on Mirage. They just took this round back, and it keeps them at half of the round count of G2.
I think it's like you're saying, you know, G2 may have had a bad start to that last game, if not for that Deagle round up the A ramp. FURIA, we get them kick-started now, and they can look at the mistakes they've made and how G2 have kind of outplayed them so far, and it might not matter. But at the end of the day, it's a 15-round half. They still have lots of time to put this together, and because it's kind of a half eco, they got lots of money off that round. A huge kickstart. A real GoFundMe to the FURIA economy, if you will. So now G2 are going to be pretty disappointed that they couldn't stop an upper hit.
Yeah.
Everyone hates themselves when they can't, because you throw the initial grenades, everyone runs into it, everyone's got 40 HP, and you're like, how do we lose those trades? So number one goal, stop that from happening again. We win every other kind of round is what they're saying.
Both teams exchanging that early utility. And the cash is back for FURIA. That's a huge chance. Could very well be the gust of fresh air they need to fill their sails.
All right, so we're in that middle portion of the round. They've done the same thing they did at the beginning of last round. Bait the utility out because the CTs have no choice but to respect it. If they didn't, they would probably lose again. But what are they doing now? FURIA actually going back into the exec after knowing they would bait mollies.
Ooh, frag grenade kind of misses the mark. Art, damn, he's lost in the sauce here. Just dies out. Looks like a fool. Amanek able to catch Vinny as well. Hunter taking to the top of the hut. Serato also inside of the smoke. That's how he gets back into this. And Amanek looking for second servings.
They're going to go vent?
Yeah, they want to. Seems like Squeaky's their route. Kenny S decides not to shoot. All three T's move down. And Nico hot on their heels. Nexa, he's not going to see anything towards ramp, but yet again, Launders, we've got a moment where G2 don't scramble, and Nico, with the element of surprise, dies as Henny catches him with his head turned. We're into the 3v3.
Real timing game here. Good spots for FURIA. G2 scrambling, playing it slow.
Nexa walking down. He's got a teammate by his side. Serato back behind the silo. Henny's over on the control. Nexa burning out the dark corners, trying to find the contact. Kenny versus Henny, that's huge. And now the last two T's have both been spotted. It's about getting them out of position, but Serato, the killer. He's got himself 3 frags on the round, and as that bomb inevitably pops off, so will Serato.
Top it up. What's the secret, Serato? Looking slick. 4 frags, first on 10 for FURIA. A very confident round, and you could see the opportunity from a mile away. As soon as that door was open in that 3vx, yeah, they looked like fools, but Serato opened things up. That's Hunter on squeaky duty, and they knew the vent was not covered. They snuck down. Kenny S was too scared to drop a shot, and we know that they've been very slow to rotate to the lower site.
Yeah.
But this time, the threat was not in the 5v5. And this time, there was no players to catch anybody else. Everybody got downstairs, not just Art by himself. This tactically makes this game a lot more interesting here for G2. FURIA are going to identify, number one, they're still afraid of the upstairs execs. Plus now, this vent dive, that's a threat at all levels versus all teams who you know they're still going to do it. You'll still be able to get players down vent. That is going to be a consistent problem for them. I think Hunter is the guy to focus on right now. But before we focus on that, G2 have to focus on how they do with just pistols, because now FURIA are going to be able to climb back to a potential tie scoreline.
So G2 used the start of this one for everybody put in their order. Kenny S went on the grocery run, came back with a Deagle P250 CZ. Nico and Amanek, it's not enough to go around. Or actually, a Zeus. He had the side dish.
Bit premature on that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've all been there. Okay.
Yeah.
Hunter is up here. CZ in hand. Nice get into it. Hey, this thing. Powerful spray. Oh my god, that flick up.
Art's just going to go ahead and delete him. And if Yuri lingers outside, then that should take Nico out of the equation as well. One of the two USPs. It's Kenny's Deeg that I wanted to see, but seems not.
You see how quickly a lead can wash away.
And again, you see how quickly a lead can wash away with the injection of money coming from an eco round win.
Yeah.
You know, this is 3 halves across the 3 halves of Counter-Strike where we have had that type of instance. Each time netting following rounds to the favor of the winner.
Yeah, there is such an emphasis on these swing rounds
Economy's
for the losing teams. Yeah.
Next
the key thing.
back.
Now we'll see. G2, they forget this round ever happened. They look back on what's worked. I think they've scared FURIA enough outside. The crosses aren't going to go well together. I think what needs to happen, though, more, is this time is for FURIA. I think the real key here is don't fake. Go for the outside to lower hits together. Go for the vent dives together. Because, again, G2 are not rotating. They're not over-rotating too quickly. They're just trying to catch your split. So I think there's an opportunity for FURIA to win rounds by not... Okay.
It's out.
Yeah.
The first European showing of Art's treasured P90.
Yeah.
We've had to watch this thing develop from meme to headshot machine in North America. And now Kenny S going to be the first victim of it. No, the assist from Art. And he's not going to let off of that W key. Nexa's back on the control panel. He will fall victim to it. It bests the M4 somehow, some way. If you blink, you missed it. FURIA just running rampant. Look at this. The round is still live, and he's shooting corpses, Launders. He's pissed.
Yeah.
Look.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, he's asserting. He's asserting right now. He's peeing on the tree. You know what I mean? Let him know. It's my control room.
This is, and you know what? This goes back to Mirage. That's what you need to see. It's a respectful thing at the end of the day.
Oh yeah. I mean, the tweet afterwards is,
Yeah.
we love and respect you. Now, yeah, that's frustrating. Op shot was missed. Almost got the first kill with that P90. Punish no head armor.
Hey, buddy.
Art's the... That's like the face when you know you're on camera. Art... how does he know the spray so well? He was pretty far away.
Yeah.
That headshot. He's the only kid running around a headshot only DM with like Rain in there. Rain's like carefully tapping away with his AK. And this one kid sweating flies around the corner on Dust 2 with a P90, headshotting people.
You made the comparison of the Galil spray being like a pepperoni pizza.
It wasn't an analogy that hit for everyone, but it's just what I think about when I think about a Galil spray. Pepperonis on a pizza. P90
is more like a pizza pocket. You kind of just throw it against the wall, and it either splatters in the face or misses entirely. And somehow Art, he's good at food fights, man. He's just...
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's unlike anybody else.
That's a good one. That's the next video table right there. Art's Cafeteria.
Yeah. What's funny too is like within NA, you know, Art was the only person to pull it out at times. And then we started to slowly see it leak into the rest of FURIA. And if they had like a huge edge in a game or a certain round, you'd see them kind of pick it up and you know, you'd see the laughter. You know, there was still an element of meme to it. But then EG started going for 5 P90 buys at times. And it's just kind of, it's infiltrated and infested North American Counter-Strike. We can't get rid of it now.
It's a bit expensive, but 50 bullets.
It is.
Strong bullets. You get less kill reward, I believe, but who cares if you get the kill? You can run and gun.
I think it has a lot of the strength of all the SMGs. It's got like the it has almost the same magazine size as the PP Bison. It's got the armor penetration of like an UMP. It's got the range of an MP7. It's got the rate of fire of an MP9.
Okay.
But that's why it costs
so much, right?
And you don't buy it because it costs so much, but if you know how to use the damn thing, suddenly, you're Art. But,
Of course, we can always backwards rationalize the most ridiculous weapons if they work.
Yeah.
I think you did a good job and made a case for it.
Thank you.
But of course, you know, there is a high percentage chance we could try to take this into our next bug and just get flamed and kicked from the server. But Art, you know, he's not joking around. That was a very important round.
It was.
He just had a strategy in mind where he needed to keep running and gunning.
Also,
and never had to reload.
Running accuracy of the P90 is actually off the chart.
Right. Right.
Kind of like the MP5. That's the only thing the MP5 can offer.
Not much else. Not even much nostalgia with the MP5. Does
In
not
my
feel like the 1.6 MP5.
No.
And,
Not quite. You know what I've also noted is Quesarado's been hanging on to this M4A1S ever since he got it out of Hunter's hands.
It should be down to well-worn by this time.
Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, he got kind of bullied on it on Mirage. It started off really hot here on Nuke as well with the couple of squeaky holds we did see. So maybe Quesarado's trying to turn it on their head. But heads being ripped clean off the shoulders, the pistols do not prevail. Hell, the pistols can't perform. G2 gonna lose out to FURIA. A 7th round on this T side. And just like in the other instances, it's that economic advantage that runs rampant into a spree of round wins. They are now sitting on a 5-round streak, looking for their 6th as G2 buy back.
FURIA on fire. So let's bring it back to strategy. What are they going to try to do? A lot of options here. I think feign that upper rush one more time. Just make it a part of the default. They're not actually going to commit through to it. First things first. Yep, they bait those nades out right off the bat. They're staying away from outside, kind of like that. If they do go back outside, stay grouped and commit. And for G2, I think what we're going to see instead, yes, we got Nexa already down the vent.
Okay. Ooh. Amadex sees some feet. He likes that. He's trying to hit at them, and that actually baits Vinny right into the peak. It works perfect. Now Hunter's going to strike from the top of hut. Vinny able to trade. Vinny doing everything to get them on this A site. And oh my, they nearly lined up for Nico's spray down, but a rapid headshot connects from Henny. Kenny S up next, caught on the lobby flank, and they're just going to avoid him. But Nexa then activates, runs into the A site. A second kill as Henny goes for the reload, and Quesarado so low that Vinny needs to nearly do it all.
Such a clutch play in that moment, in the mid-round here for Nexa to really bring this back into fruition. Kenny S now looking for an opportunity when was probably already in saving mode. Quesarado wrapping into heaven. We know that Nexa was front of the site.
Oh, timing.
Oh my goodness.
They both turned back. They both change directions. Nexa finds the back at a distance. It is all on Vinny. He is the reason they got onto A, and he is the reason they need to stave off the retake. He just uses his last piece of utility. He's got to be focused on heaven.
Oh my god. He can delay time. They're actually coming in both through Mini. Let's see how he take this fight.
They've got a flashbang each. Vinny could decide to peek and shave off one of the two CTs. He doesn't know they're both coming in from this direction. Kenny has the first contact. Vinny, it's a labored spray, but he transitions over to Nexa, and he gets the job done.
It couldn't have been more critical. Vinny, the man who you had to shine a spotlight on from the first map that was not putting up numbers, puts together one of the most critical rounds of this match, if not the most, for FURIA. Destroys the economy of G2 one more time. They took their 8th round already. There's the entry to start things out. Probably the hardest part about all of this in the first place. Saves Quesarado's life by a hair, and then turns it into the 1v2. Drops a spray on Kenny S. You think he's going to lose focus. No, that's not Vinny.
No, not Vinny at all. He rides the high. 8th round arrives, and a 9th on the horizon. P90 yet again. Art's going to give chase down into the lower site. Kenny S on the M4 does good damage, and Nexa's off angle finds Art by surprise. Now Kenny, he's actually coming in on the hot flank and could get caught. Flashbang into the eyes of Vinny. Nexa going huge.
Oh, clutch moves.
3 frags for him. Kenny S cools things off with a smoke back on ramp.
Nexa's so damn good.
But Yuri, well, he's found an opening on this A site. And funny enough, that bomb can double back from ramp. It did not get caught out. Kenny S so low. Yuri clears him, but Kenny does connect the dink, and that could make the difference here in this 15th and final round of the very first half. Nexa has done everything from the B site, and Nico, he gets the job done. Kenny connects his assist. Henny then dies next to the P90 of all things, and G2 Esports will take a 7th round at the end of the CT side. We were talking 6 in a row for FURIA. Momentum was massive. And now, at the start of this second half, we'll see who starts off. Six rounds in a row as they closed out that T side. 8 in total for FURIA. So they will have a slight edge as they begin the CT half of map 2.
Yeah, Yuri just quietly climbing the scoreboard to put up some big numbers. Even though we saw some key plays from Art on a swing round, we saw Vinny with a 1v2. Some kind of great attempts all around and contributions from the different sets of players. Really interesting half from a tactical perspective, and now we'll get to see what G2 can bring on the T side. Should be quite a challenge for them again, coming in on very low practice time.
Utility soars into the A site, completely clear for the take.
Oh my god.
Man, this is one of those moments where like it's too quiet.
They actually didn't even move outside. They heard all the nades, they just waited.
1000 HP post plant.
Here's the smoke.
Molotov and a flash as well for FURIA to try and work with. Hunter could be everything. And the fact that he's not alone is massive, but Serato just peeks right down. Kenny S and Nexa with kills each. Nexa with a potential for another. He's at least distracting Henny long enough for Art to come up with nothing at all. This is awesome from G2. They took what was given to them and should walk away. Henny connects the kill to Nexa, but G2 win the second pistol.
That's a demo retake. I mean, that is a demo setup for G2. Taking upstairs, but flanking Heaven with 2 players, understanding what FURIA were going to do, and Quesarado calls it out. He tries to get the most of that. But even from there, even if he got both kills, they still could have lost that situation. That is pretty amazing stuff. These smokes that are coming out, the paint can smoke as well as FURIA smoke for the retake, are changing the game when it comes to these Heaven retakes. Really love how the meta's changed a bit more in favor of the CTs to come out of Heaven. It's making things really interesting here. Credit to whoever found both of those. I think FURIA found that one that they just threw. Paint can, I'm not so sure. But here, it's kind of a deco. I mean, there's some pretty okay guns here. Yuri are combining for 2.
Oh my god, they're doing it. It's all down to Hunter.
Just like that.
Just like what was done to them, they turn it on its head and rob G2 of their second round conversion. Oh my god, and Art just slips it in. The electric slide for a 9th on Furia's favor.
Man, they come out like a ball of lightning, and that's it. Furia's the bottle. Stopped in their tracks. There's going to be some guns that were recovered even. We get a MAC-10 here. No upgrade from Art. No, there's a Deagle, sorry. The AK's in front of him. But G2 will have to take a seat for a minute. They're forcing into this, but there's a late buy here from Nexa. I wonder if there's a big plan or if it's more of just
a Lucy Deagle round.
Let's try to win this back, but I'm not sure I don't know.
That was heard. Art calls this out. Quesarado's looking for a head on the silver platter. Quesarado gonna have to channel his inner Searson. Down goes Nico. No armor. Quesarado caught in the open. There's Kenny's clapback. And Art then swinging out from Secret is caught by Hunter. That's a huge trophy that they could go take for themselves. The AK down in the dirt. And Amanek, he's heard Vinny. Instant execution off of the Tech 9. Oh, things are getting weird.
Yeah, Yuri's going to pull a guard. Takes his attention inside. There's a fight happening outside all this while. Henny.
Oh, dangerous game. Oh my god, he's going to get splattered if he's not careful. Next up.
Yuri's got the flank.
Yep. There it does.
There
it goes.
There it do. Dog, damn it.
Sometime it do, but it don't like it is. Oh, man.
Just Almanac.
Just Almanac.
Trying to Paper Mario up the ladder. Looking for the big flank, but it was all about Yuri's big flank. That was the start of the show.
All right.
There it do.
And Yuri connects the headshot to close without further casualties. Still cost-effective from G2, but of course they will now have to save.
Yeah. All right. Well, sometimes it feels like teams are buying when they lose a round just because you just keep buying. That's just what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of the situations where it feels like it's a kind of a risk, and it doesn't seem like there's too much to gain. But with the economy, it props you up no matter what. It's just pure stimulus packages along the way if you want to continuously buy over and over again. But either way, they give their best shot. Yeah, FURIA, very, very reasonable buy right now, and Vinny's trying to catch this pop out, but it looks like he'll actually play it safe.
Okay, they got the bomb. I was going to say, could actually go for the over-rotation with so many T's still in ramp, that does give them a weapon. You know, we saw FURIA be, or G2 rather, be very patient on their rotates down to the B site. Look how FURIA's, oh my god.
Almanac, man, he popped the head off in Turnpike with the Tech 9, turned that into an M4, and turned that into another kill. And we've got a couple players cowering lower. I know Nex's mind is working and thinking they were probably going to rotate very heavily. Last time FURIA were in this position, Almanac picked the right site. I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again.
Absolute total contrast to what G2 would do when these rapid rounds got them lower control. FURIA, they were just running everywhere.
Oh, the bomb is here.
Yeah, that's the thing.
My mistake. I didn't realize.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's so why they sit silently. And that's the problem with G2. And this is what now makes me think, like, FURIA were running at the terrorists, but they're sitting on the bomb. And the P250, oh my goodness. It does enough damage to get Kenny his trade. Vinny is going to have to come in with another clutch. He did this in the first half. There's a player inside the control
smoke. Oh my goodness. Are they going to come? Wait, if they didn't see him.
He's right there.
They might actually come back into the site. Vinny,
What?
He's, oh my god, it's all about walking. There's no noise made, no cues here, and the bomb will get planted right underneath his nose. Poor Vinny has no idea,
Bro,
that he had this locked up. He's hearing gunshots.
and they're going to plant
The mixed
backside.
signals backside, man.
Oh my.
But Almanac,
Yep, ready. Hits the headshot. Vinny, though, answers back with a kill. And it's Kenny to close. G2, like ships in the night, silently crossing paths without ever knowing that they were shoulder to shoulder.
that's tough. I mean, he still could have lost,
Things get interesting.
but things get interesting for sure. This is such a great round from Almanac, showing what he can do on the T side of Nuge. And I think one of the big values of Almanac is just how good he looks on T side sometimes. Two-way player on Mirage, but look at that, man.
What a weird
that
round.
That is brutal. Yeah, that is brutal.
Yeah.
Only specifically because that's Furia's bot. You know, that's a round they bought, and that was the free round that they got, that they should have got. So it's back to pistols for Furia. Now they'll have to prove even more on the CT side.
And, I mean, to sound like a broken record, man, just like every other half of this match, across both maps, there's some sort of early, weird round that just absolutely shifts momentum, and this could be. But, I mean, you'd think it's way too much to ask. That was the only Desert Eagle in play. There's a Zeus on Art.
Yeah, but that's Yuri with 20 kills on a print stream.
Well, he has the print
skin doesn't
stream.
matter.
The Zeus does nothing on Squeaky Door, and G2 will waste no time running rampant into the A site. Kenny S watching flank, delivers the kill.
What's so sick about Almanac is he'll pick up a MAC-10 and he'll literally be a baneling for the team and run into a site by himself. And those info plays are so valuable.
Oh, then he gets there in the end.
That's an op recovered.
Hey, he just wants to leave with it, but you know they're going to come chasing, especially Almanac, as you said, MAC-10 in hand. Vinny also has a player right there, and so he hits the dirt as G2 move to a 10th round on the board. We're on the final 10 rounds of this second map. No clue where this match is going to go. No clue where G2 can deliver. Damn, Yuri. Okay, I see you. You've had some really nice deagles across this series.
Yeah, definitely a solid map from him. Again, he's just kind of quietly climbed to 20. And you better believe a lot of those kills were impact. So yeah, it's an amalgamation of weaponry here between the two sides, between the SMG, the Ops, the AUGs in play. It's hard to tell, you know, how wealthy these teams are, but both have very, very reasonable purchases. So Nico, let's take a look at him for a second. He's waiting to try to catch a mini rotator. Art is going to be his first opponent, and I wouldn't be surprised if this gets cleared.
So Art just goes in between the two smokes, off of the flash, looks to push past, and Nico shoves him back.
Damn.
Yuri trying to help out outdoors.
Oh my God,
then
he's
called
dead.
into the A site. Henny completely burnt, but the boost up from Vinny will get Furia on the kill feed. And the rest of G2 kind of stagnant still inside of lobby. Problem being for Furia is one man, Nico, should have been able to cross. And the push works out for Yuri. That's the bomb on his feet. Kenny S, he drops the one shot he could have clawed it back with. But Yuri, he knows he is in a pressure cooker at the moment. Nico then perfectly smoked off. Oh my. And now Yuri gets cleared out by Nico, who's done it all his own alongside Hunter.
That's just beautiful from Nico. Drop the smoke down, jump up, spam Yuri down. He turns his attention away to Kenny S.
Great recovery.
Just so well played. I mean, Yuri had that locked up for a second. With his smoke down in front of Kenny S, moving into a new spot, grabbing a little bit of high ground.
And Hunter's ready.
You couldn't just clear him. Well done from G2. Well done from Nico. Again, I mean, he hasn't getting like tons of 3Ks, but the kills he get, just ridiculous impact.
I mean, huge impact just winning the smoke duel versus Art.
Yeah.
You know, he had the flash to go in with it, didn't connect to the head of Nico. And yeah, that jump over the box is
just sick,
so
man.
good.
Yeah.
Especially as we were on board with Yuri, and we saw him, in my mind too, I'm like, oh, he's safe for now.
Yeah, he gets one more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not even. And just like that, we have Furia relegated into pistols. Deagle and a P250, flash and a frag. Smokes crossed. And CT's sent sailing downstairs. Sure, Nico's creating this space, but G2 can also hesitate. They've got three men a little further back. If he feels like there's way too many players, it's an easy redirect. And even if they push inwards here, it should never be enough. 2 opening frags for G2. I have confidence they move in on this. But then again, they don't have to, and you'd hate to make a mistake when you've got FURIA back against the wall. Vinny peeks in and dies out, so no success here for FURIA. This is a 12-10 scoreline, and G2's T side now going to have picked up 5 of the first 7 rounds.
What a nightmare. G2 looks so strong. And FURIA have to face him with pistols. Once again, there's time on the clock. It's kind of a rule of thumb. Every time you get a kill in a position like this, you just kind of add 10, 20 seconds on to where you wait. Like, if you don't have to move into a site, pick a position, let's see if they'll hand the round to you. Of course, you're encouraging CTs to push with a man advantage like this. But the push isn't always going to come.
Oh my.
And, oh my god, hold on. The crossfire is actually good.
seconds.
However, they've got
Molly.
the opposite man, Molly, yeah.
Yep, that's everything. Desert Eagle gets a bit more damage, but Kenny S still downstairs to clean up.
Okay. All right. This is it's a real match, but this is about FURIA being able to win this round just to show us that it's a real match, because this is the point at which Mirage, where G2 were able to run away with it. It'll be a real test for G2 to continue, of course. They won an eco round that leveraged the anti-ecos to get them here. Wow. Kenny S, Hunter, 42 kills between the two of them.
Everyone else on G2 at 13 kills apiece. We've got Yuri in the 20s for FURIA and nobody else alongside him. The rest of them averaging out at 13 as well.
Yeah, you've just got no bottom fraggers on G2 right now, especially with the way that Almanac has been outputting Impact, especially on T side. Key plays rushing through the ramp. Brought both those ecos close, and the second one was the one, he was the one who's definitely locked it up. So they started out last round able to kill Art outside, that last rifle round. That was the key moment. What is Art's play this time around? Ooh,
You saw that foot.
just a foot. Just a shoe.
MNX gonna kind of shell up.
Oh, do we have Kenny S versus Art coming up?
Could be, but Kenny, he's watching outside as Art moves in. Kenny drops down and dies. 5v4 for FURIA, and they have a huge success rate in terms of 5v4s. At least coming into this match they did. See if it bodes well for them. Problem being, you know, Art, sure, he gets that op pick, but it's down in secret stairs, which means the entirety of outside has still been conceded to G2.
Yeah, they're moving very slow, G2. I think they put a lot of stock in Kenny to find something there. Flash comes out, op shots drop, but there was a player close enough to make sure Nexa dies.
What's Nico?
Yuri's in the hut. Man, so many CTs up close still.
Nico wrapping heaven.
They're trying to hunt this bomb down.
They're pushing in, and Amanex position catches Case Serrato off guard. Nico looking for something on this A site, but eventually G2 have to make their move, and FURIA, well, they want that bomb. They're going to fight for it, tooth and nail. But will they expect Nico to have wrapped all the way around from heaven? He's crawling into hut, 10 seconds left, and he gets the first headshot. There's still time to bail them out of trouble, but they need to go, and they need to go now. It's Hunter and Nico running in for the plant. They get it in the nick of time, and the last two CTs both have ops. Nico doing everything. He has unraveled this ball of yarn. Yuri shocked, and Henny ready to rock this 1v2 back to FURIA's favor. He's inside of the smoke. He turns his head, and Henny should be dead, but he's gone all the way around. He has seen nothing. As quickly as they conquered, they have disappeared. Henny scopes in, gives himself up, dropped to 16 health. He's going to try and get on bomb. A ridiculous 2v4 by the Kovacs.
Yeah, absolutely unreal. I mean, at that point, FURIA had that locked up. You might even think about saving with how close that round could come. And Nico was predicted to come through the hut. You see him take this duel straight on with Yuri. Yuri holding that position, but the instant headshot. And again, as you mentioned, the Kovac brothers put it together. Fantastically well played. There's just no hope for any at that point. They needed to just deny the bomb from going down. One kill is all that they required. Back to pistols for Furia in a round that was wrapped up. It was over.
4v2 sitting on bomb with 15 seconds
Nothing
left.
tactically you can say about how they should have played it better. They put Yuri there to fight, and he's fragging. They said, hey, watch Hut. Someone comes Hut right when he's looking. He still can't win the duel. And then it's just a massacre. The smoke down as well to section out the fights. Well done on the approach. They're so limited on information in that spot as well.
Art with an off angle. Can't quite deliver. That last round, more like a hard uppercut to the liver. Furia now just sputtering out, trying to catch their breath with a deagle round, but I don't know, man. This has been a T-side from G2 that does not stop giving. 5 rounds in a row. Hunter opens up into the head of Honey. The rest of Furia just left standing on the A site. Nowhere to run, nowhere to go. G2 gonna take this B site by storm.
Yeah, they'll run down with it. Get that bomb down. No more lobby antics.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, there's a pistol here showing face at the ramp.
25 seconds. Bomb will be planted. Everything back in control. It was really just that one member of Furia slipping through.
Damn, that's a backbreaker. I mean, it's a heartbreaker, it's a backbreaker because, of course, that was just what Furia needed just to get a semblance of a half together, right? Just to jumpstart again another potential comeback, but it doesn't just get, like, lucked out of their hands. It gets stolen. It gets ripped from their hands. We wrap out round 24. G2 saved with 4. Bomb will go off for some extra cash injection. Furia go ahead and hang on to the Deagles, the half armor. There'll be another buy before the potential for match point, but G2 on fire, looking to end this 2-0.
Ever since that round 19 eco win, it's been unanswered from Furia. This is Hunter getting back the kill versus Art. Wastes no time running through the flames, knew what he had to do. Furia with a timeout, trailing by 4, in with a buy, double op setup. Again.
Nico's adding an extra dimension of just standards to each of their holds, right? Like, everywhere he can get a kill, it's just such an important one. And he's just out-dueling players who are ready for him. And that's even with him. He's 15 and 19.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of nuts how when you watch, it's like just key frag after key frag. Hunter's at 26 already.
Here it is. Arguably Furia's last chance, and G2, they're not going to respect it at all. Running right into the A site. Quesarado behind the box, delivers with the first kill. Art, side of the smoke, drops his shot, but that's Quesarado to get himself a third. He didn't even see Amanek. Back behind the smoke, he's died out. And look at the HP left over from G2. It was single-minded. There was one lane forward, and that lane shut down. Furia with an 11th are still holding on. But the question is for how long?
We were at the point where it was like G2's well of ideas. It hadn't run dry, but they just hadn't tried an upper exec, and they had such a big lead. Why not throw it in there? This absolutely means nothing for Furia. They can win a round like that.
Yep.
Hey, listen, it's great that they know that they can stop an upper rush, but there's still so many other problems that they've had so far that G2 have been able to manage to exploit. The amount of money left over means they have options as well. Kenny's instantly buys into a Mac 10. We look at Furia. They're buying down with money, but they haven't purchased any head armor.
There's also a third op on the ground, and Art doesn't have another weapon. Triple sniper
just
setup?
happened there? There's no way they're going to use... Well, Art's the only one without a gun, yeah.
I think they saved three snipers.
Okay, Vinny...
Nobody spent 4.7, so they saved all 3.
Okay, so Vinny ramp with the op.
HUD bug.
And then Art in front of Squeaky potentially, Henny outside.
This is weird. And
Everybody hit a shot?
When I see those 2 Mac 10s, I'm like, you better hit your first shot.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, G2 are going to swarm. And they're going towards ramp. Over on ramp, we've got Vinny with the op. Is that who you want with this?
Uh-oh.
He's gonna lay down the smoke, desperate for help, already swapping to the sidearm. It's perfect from G2. Double entry just like that. Art at bat, caught by Kenny S, who kills him with the M4 and shifts this G2 execute onto the B site. Yuri could come through smoke. He just swapped over to the sniper. The triple op setup does not pay off. G2 run rampant through the ramp.
I need to watch the demo because how did they have the info? That's too much of a counter. They had the 2 MAC-10s and a rush ramp. Did they see the extra? How did they? Man, they even they read that so perfectly. I mean, I guess they had confirmation on 2. I'm not even sure.
They've had 2 ops in most of the guns.
Right, yeah.
East side.
So they just, I mean,
Third
it's just
one might
such
have
a
just
hard
been.
read. And no head armor, even with the money to spare, because they're worried about their economy for future rounds.
Oh, they have a reason to worry now.
That is insane. I mean, it's just the perfect idea, right?
Perfect storm.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
Furia that get blown away in the French winds.
they have to read that. I mean, that's really cool.
Oh, do they even get to keep the 1? Oh my god, he is so wrecked. Flash in the face. It's a race to the finish line, and G2 standing on it as they look back at Furia and laugh.
Listen, even if Vinny hits a shot, he's still dead. The problem is that G2 picked the perfect tactic versus their setup out the gate. There's nothing that can be done about that. Is that Tarek?
Hey, boys.
I don't know why production does this to us at 12:30. At 12:30.
It's because they've already lost their minds.
Yeah.
And they just want to drag us down with
Right. So we understand how they feel.
And it feels great.
My goodness, man.
What a round, man.
There's just so many cool storylines coming out of the event right now with how many things are happening just here at Blast, and it's it's disappointing, of course, to see Furia get 2-0'd or EG get knocked out or whatever so early. But still, beyond those two, it's not just about North America coming to Europe. It's about Nico joining G2 and seeing how he fits in. It's about the new MIBR lineup. It's about Astralis bringing Zipix back. There's just so much going on, and it's just been very interesting. But man, G2,
go ahead and close that door. Oh, and he hits him with the wall bang.
This is. Don't tell me this is coming to a close. Art, what's the heroic play you're going to make?
Oh, dude, it's rough.
He walks up into the hut.
You know, if you had told me, and this group's not over, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself,
Go for
but
it.
who would have expected MIBR to have had the most success from the 3 NA teams that came over?
Well, it's 2 different. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
We will, and that's it. The story goes on. But so far, MIBR. Pimp said earlier today that no matter what happens in the second match, MIBR won Group C. They won the day with their performance. And I thought this was going to have the fireworks that would make him eat his words. But I can already hear him on the analyst desk celebrating. Maybe too soon. 4 rounds to go. Man advantage for G2. Still plenty of nades to go for the full-blown execute. Who's going to step up for Furia? It has to be now. And Henny, so blind, calling for assistance. Yuri dies. He gets overwhelmed. And it's a 2 versus 4 as G2 look to close the first official with both Nico and Hunter side by side. A dream that they've had in the making for years.
A fantastic debut, and the impact from Nico is known, and the integration with Nexus calling has been fantastic.
Worked so quick. Art 16 HP. I'm sorry, folks, but this one's done and dusted. G2 with a hell of a debut over top of North America's best hope, at least here on the opening day of Group 3. The thing is, tomorrow now we get the Brazilian Bonanza, and we have Astralis versus G2 to try and top the group. We have more Counter-Strike on the horizon, and as tonight's sun sets, we have to say, what an excellent day of CS. We're going to pass this one over to the analyst desk so that they can unpack the adventure that we were just taking on. The Kovacs coming in hot.
An excellent debut here for G2. Nico up with his cousin, but it's not just all about that. The first thing I start on when I look at that was that CT side, although it started to slip away from them, Kenny and Nico, you mentioned it in the pre-game, Maniac. That was stellar.
It was, and Nico did actually play that position outside that I was talking about, the one that is so complex to handle, so hard to find the team play, to find the rotations. They were doing it without a problem. Their communication was crisp, clean. That was an impressive performance coming in from G2. Again, FURIA, the team that looks so red hot in NA, destroying everyone, racking all the trophies, coming here, losing 2-0 to a brand new roster with 3 days of practice.
Yeah, a G2-0 that looked really strong. And again, I think this really does set the tone. Yes, G2 looked great and they did amazing. But the NA teams have lost a hell of a lot this year in not playing the European teams.
Yeah, you could say so. I think we even have a clip we can play and we can sort of tie that into it, right? Because FURIA, they made some mistakes that you can only get away with in North America. The clip we're about to show you right here, the economical play that is coming in now, it is, a bit of a problem. It is a bit of a problem for FURIA because you cannot make these mistakes when you play in Europe. You see this round, it is a 3 versus 5 at this point, right? What's going to happen here in a second is not good enough from FURIA. Art is pushing down from ramp in itself, fine, but Yuri going through the smoke, pushing ramp. What are you doing, Matthew? What are you doing?
Basically, you're giving the half away to G2 is what you're doing. And here, once more, Art pushing in too far. That was a 4 versus 3 from FURIA. Money advantage, weapon advantage. G2 now back in control in a 3v2. We got a 2v1 now. The trade is on point. And now, welcome to Circus Counter-Strike.
It gets even worse and worse and worse. And here, from this point on and onwards, right, it's not a mistake. It's not necessarily Vinny doing anything that is not supposed to happen. He's just simply a little bit unlucky, and it is fun. You can laugh at it. We can laugh at it. Everyone should be able to laugh at it. The only problem is that FURIA, this hurt them big time.
Yeah. They should never be there.
This should never have happened, right?
No.
This should be an 11-8 lead with money control. They should have won that round, surviving 4 players. They would have so much money in the bank. Instead, they're going on to lose it. Yeah, Vinny's getting a killer, but he still lose the duel. They lose the round, and that was the building stone for G2 to fight back on the T side.
To be fair, that's a recurring theme with the NA teams coming in. I feel like we had that discussion about EG. They were dropping the balls. They were being sloppy in situations they had the control over. Here, FURIA in that 4v3 should never ever lose it. You fast forward 2 or 3 rounds, they lose a 2 versus 4 against the Kovacs cousin with the bomb on the floor in the B lobby with 20 seconds left, and they lose that 2v4. You can put these rounds back to back to back, and FURIA had a way to win Nuke, but they were sloppy. They made mistakes, and they got punished.
And to be honest, right, it's a direct consequence of them playing against NA teams. I remember it from my own time, right? You play over there, you think to yourself, you're winning everything, right? It's easy. You can make those mistakes, and they don't get punished. So you build up those bad habits in practice. It's like when you're playing Face It or FPL or whatever you play out there. If you build up bad habits, you don't necessarily get punished for them, but when you go into a game when you're facing a well-oiled machine like G2 were today, you get punished and you look silly. It's simply not good enough for FURIA, and they gotta step it up from that, because we saw individually, they're here as a team, decision-wise, not really up to the task with G2.
And if anyone hasn't heard yet, Pimp wasn't lying. He used to play for Team Liquid, so that's his NA.
I didn't say that, but thank you so much for putting it out there.
I'm just making sure
putting it out there.
everyone's aware that you're not
2016
just
was a
lying.
wonderful year, James. You can just keep on moving,
I'm making sure you don't lie, There we go. But no, the NA dreams truly are being shattered. And I think it was either Scrawny or Launders that mentioned it on there, that the fact that MIBR was the most successful NA team in this opening part, which we would have never expected with it. It's wild to think, but I'm so impressed with G2. Okay, Nexer in this game, he didn't frag out, but some of the impact he had there. I remember him playing CT, just leaving down ramp, holding position. He was playing little off angles and being an absolute nuisance. They didn't even know where to look for him.
Yeah, there are really many good signs for G2 and that first BO3, right? First of all, the distribution of kills, quite spread across the team. Nico didn't need to do Nico things at all. He had pretty much average numbers, I want to say, but he was doing his role. He was coming in with the input. He was coming in with the ideas as well, helping positioning on the CT side. Everyone was contributing. We had Kenny S posting great numbers on Nuke. Remember, if you're just joining Counter-Strike scene, Kenny S is a little bit of a slump right now. It's not his best moment in his career, rating-wise quite low, but he's been actually stepping up. He had a great game on Nuke. Nexa, we've seen him being so clutch on the CT side. He had a couple of rounds on the B-bomb side, being surrounded by opponents, able to find 2 to 3 kills. Hunter, again, people are going to grow bored of me saying that, but Hunter is doing a magnificent job, and the input he's having on TeamSpeak all the time, he's always coming in with ideas. This G2 here, that was a deep roster playing it together.
But do we say it's a honeymoon period or not? Right, we'll have to wait and see tomorrow before I jump into that. But the one thing I will going to say, any team that wants to go play against them on Nuke, I would not want to be going up against Kenny and Nico out there. That is the scariest two people. A Kenny on form alongside Nico?
Yeah, that's just a scary prospect in itself, right? And if you're Astralis, you're thinking to yourself, okay, we lost to MIBR with 3 stand-ins on Nuke today. Are we supposed to play Nuke against G2 tomorrow?
Nah.
That could be a bit of a problem, right? That could be a bit of a problem. Kenny S, as you said, Maniac, he's not in the best period as of right now, but he's doing a good job. He had a good second half, I would say. First half he was doing a bit of mistakes here and there. I wasn't necessarily too happy with the way he played. I will say, there was a moment where I thought it was going to slip out of the hands of G2 on Nuke, but they showed resilience. They showed that even when they had tough times, they could regroup and come back into the game and had the right mentality for it as well. And to me, already this early, it's impressive.
Yeah, it's no secret that Kenny S can be sometimes emotional about the game, and his motivation is going to fluctuate throughout the month. How can you not be motivated when you have Nico coming in a team? That has to be like a kick, an adrenaline pump for him, and I hope he's going to ride that wave.
Well, let's hear he is going to ride that wave. We've got Nico standing by for an interview. He's had his opening game under G2 now. And Nico, you guys really made a statement here. But how prepared were you for Nuke and the other maps in there? Because we saw Mirage looked really good, but we were a bit concerned about how much time you'd had to play Nuke with the team.
Hey, thanks for the congratulations. Honestly, we only had 1 Nuke of practice, over 3 days. We had 3 days of practice and we played Nuke only once. So it wasn't really the best preparation, but on our side, but we did our best, preparing for the things they had, and we did a great job on countering some of their stuff. And I just feel like we just won based on the rotations, we were just moving them around and just kind of outplaying them later on. So I think that was the biggest key, just to remain calm and not get surprised by their risky plays by Arch and so on. So yeah, it was a bit surprising the way we played on Nuke. We played really good, so it's definitely a good sign.
And how did you feel, right, going up against FURIA? Because we know what they can do, but it certainly didn't seem like they were as scary as what they may have used to been before this madness happened and we had EU and NAB split apart.
Yeah, this is my first time that I play against FURIA, so I really didn't know what to expect once we played them in an official match. But yeah, they weren't really aggressive, or actually I'm not sure if they were not so aggressive, but we had punished them most of the time once they were aggressive. We were just aware of all the plays that they had, and we knew on what parts we should focus so we can not let them do those risky plays. And yeah, we only had some issues with this event thing on Nuke. We didn't really know how to counter it. We still didn't have set answers for it, but other than that, we were ready pretty much for everything that they had. Yeah, it was just a good preparation by Malek and our analysts, so we are just prepared, I guess.
Nico, I have 2 questions about you and Hunter specifically. First of all, what do you feel about his improvement, his evolution as a player? I think he's doing fantastic right now. And second of all, how does it feel to finally be next to him on the server?
Yeah, it feels amazing to play with him and the rest of the guys as well. It's been coming for a while that me and him would be on the team, and I'm happy that we managed to do it. I believe kind of this was the right timing for both myself and their team, so I'm really glad it happened. And yeah, as you said, he developed as a player a lot, and when he's in the zone, he's really dangerous player. He's always making those kind of not risky plays, but he's always going for some moves. And when he's in that zone, he's very good. And obviously the communication is really good on him, and I believe that we're gonna have really good synergy within this team. So I think that's gonna help us a lot.
Nico, moving into G2, it's a bit of a different setup than you were in FaZe, right? You guys are way more organized, I assume. You guys have a home now, I guess, that supports you a little bit differently than FaZe did. Can you try to explain to us and the viewers what the biggest difference between being in G2 and FaZe is?
Honestly, it's very hard for me to say anything yet, but I don't really see a big difference when it comes to playstyle. I believe that G2 also developed. They're not as structured as they were before. I feel like they also have more freedom now, and it's very hard for me to say anything yet. What's the difference? It's just been 3 days of practice, and we just did our best to make sure that we have some basics going into this event. And I guess I'm gonna have to say something more after the event.
Sure, it's still early for you. You as a personal player coming into G2, you've been in FaZe for 3.5 years and you had ups and downs within that clan. What do you as a player hope to achieve in G2? Is that winning everything? Is that winning the majors, or would anything less do it?
Yeah, definitely winning as much as we can. That's my goal. That's why I switched the team, obviously. So I think everyone has the same goal on this team, right? They also want to make changes so they could improve and they can jump on the next level. So definitely everyone has the same goal on this team, and I believe that we have what it takes to to become one. I think we're gonna click really well together, and I just think like the roles are like very strong in this team, which is gonna be the most important part in that progress.
Speaking of roles, Nico, outside of fragging like a madman, which everyone knows you can do, can you explain to me what your goal is going to be in helping the team out? Maybe next time, maybe your role in the team. Outside of just fragging, what is it that you want to bring?
What I bring the most is like basically just more city setups and like more reactions. I believe that, like I'm really good in like in reading the opponents and just making sure that like we are always on the right side of the map. Like I'm never gonna let my team like sit and just like not do anything in late rounds. So I think that's what I can bring them the most, just being like proactive all the time, like moving around and just making sure that we are finding the gaps. And I can also like bring it's hard for me to say anything yet, but I'm going to try to help Nex as much as I can, though. Like I believe that I have a lot of experience. I'm going to help him as much as he wants me to help him, basically, and that's how we're going to work from now on.
And I have to ask you, Nico, right, with that, from you being an in-game leader, now coming into this team and Nex are taking over, was it hard for you in this first game sometimes to hold back at it?
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised like how well I did. I was just like not talking that much. I'm just trying to like talk just the necessary stuff. So it's been hard. Like I already went through this once. I know how hard it is like to go from talking all the time to just like kind of trying to stay quiet, especially because I moved on some of the sides of the map. So now I'm just like playing alone, and it's like even harder to just like not talk too much. So it's I'm gonna get used to it pretty fast, and I don't see any problems so far. So I think we're gonna work it out good.
And we know the communication for G2 is done in English, but I don't think it was you. I think it was Nexa and Hunter. But when it got to just them two alive, we saw them switch back to the native tongue. Is that something you guys will do in order to just have faster, better communications at time?
Yeah, 100%. Like every time we're gonna stay in the clutch, we should switch to Serbian because we are talking fast and we can be more precise about certain spots. So it's what Mamanek and Kenny are doing as well when they're left in clutches. So I think it's the best way for just like to react